I want to welcome everyone to this afternoon's business meeting. First, I want to ask everyone, please bow your head for a moment of silent reflection. Man, thank you. Mr. Minges.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. With our regular schedule, our next agenda meeting is Wednesday, May 8th at 2 o'clock.
Good. Wednesday, May 8th, 2 p.m.
On our utilities agenda, item number 1, docket number 2019-100C, petition to intervene.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant the petition to intervene filed on behalf of the South Carolina Telephone Coalition. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 2, docket number 2019-119C, is also a petition to intervene.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant the petition to intervene filed on behalf of South Carolina. I've got Telephone Coalition again.
You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 3, docket number 2019-137C, is the appointment of a hearing examiner.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we appoint David Stark as hearing examiner in docket number 2019-137-C. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Item number 4, docket number 2018-82S, the application of Palmetto Wastewater Reclamation, LLC, for an adjustment of rates and charges.
Mr. Chairman.
Hang on one second, Commissioner Williams. I think we've got some recusals we need to do on this. Commissioner Belser.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I'm recused from this docket.
Mr. Chairman, I would also like to note that I was not present for the hearing, and I will not be able to vote on it as well.
Likewise, Mr. Chairman, I wasn't here at the hearing.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Williams, we have recusals from Commissioners Belser, Whitfield, and Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
One recusal. Excuse me, I got corrected by Mr. Dahl.
The utility and the Office of Regulatory Staff have reached a settlement. There are no interveners. We have reviewed the settlement agreement and joint proposed order and find the settlement to be a just and reasonable resolution to this docket. The settlement, I move, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the settlement. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries.
Item number 5, docket number 2013-380S, is a request for approval of a pass-through rate.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the increase in the wastewater fee pass-through rates of Ocean Lake Utilities, LP. The Office of Regulatory Staff recommends the pass-through. So move.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 6, docket number 2019-72S, is a request for approval of the sale and transfer of Garin Creek Wastewater Utility.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Howard.
Garin Creek Wastewater Utility Incorporated has applied for approval of the sale and transfer of ownership to Berkeley County. Pursuant to an earlier commission order, notice to customers were sent via first-class mail on March the 11th, 2019, informing the customers that any opposition to the sale to Berkeley County Water and Sanitation must be received by the PSC no later than April 8th, 2019. No opposition has been filed, and the Office of Regulatory Staff recommends approval. I move we approve the sale and transfer of the ownership of Garen Creek Wastewater Utilities, Inc. to Berkeley County. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 7, docket number 2017-207E, 2017-305E, and 2017-370E. Dominion Energy is requesting an extension of time to file its code of conduct.
I think we have one recusal on this,
Mr.
as
Chair-
opposed to a bunch of recusals on the other.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I am recused from these dockets. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move we approve the request of Dominion Energy for a 60-day extension of time until July 1st, 2019, to file its code of conduct for the Commission's review. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 8, docket number 2019-74E. We have a motion to dismiss.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin.
I move that we grant the motion to dismiss and grant confidential treatment of Exhibits A and B to this motion. The complainant against Duke Energy Carolinas does not allege any violation of an applicable statute or regulation upon which relief can be granted. So I move that the motion to dismiss be granted.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Irvin's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 9, docket number 2019-132E. This matter concerns the filing of a renewable power purchase agreement.
Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
I move we accept for filing the renewable power purchase agreement between United States of America, Harris Island Facilities, and South Carolina Electric and Gas. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 10, docket number 2017-281E. It's a request to rehear or reconsider order number 2019-45H.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Belser.
Mr. Chairman, the complainants are seeking reconsideration of order number 2019-45H issued on April 3rd, 2019, that held this docket in abeyance for 60 days to finalize discovery. Instead, complainants urge that the time frame for abeyance be shortened to May 10, 2019, since solar legislation is pending that may resolve the underlying issue of the complaint, and the General Assembly concludes its legislative session on May 9th. Complainants argue that this shortened time frame should be adequate to prevent any waste of judicial resources owing to the new legislation. I move that we deny reconsideration. The motion relies upon a contingent event which may or may not occur. I further move that the parties shall provide the Commission with their positions regarding the necessity of additional discovery time on or about May 16th. That concludes my motion.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Belser's motion. Are there questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Commissioner Belser or whoever else can tell us. Do we know what the current status of the legislation is at this time? It's pending in the General Assembly that might resolve these issues.
I believe it's in Senate Judiciary Committee.
I thought it was on the Senate calendar, but perhaps hadn't been reached. Am I wrong about that?
Then you may know more than I do. I just
all right.
know that it's pending.
Right.
I have not checked this week to see the status.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. If not all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 11, docket number 2018-319E. Duke Energy Carolinas LLC's application for adjustments in electric rate schedules and tariffs.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Irvin.
this docket is the application of Duke Energy Carolina LLC for adjustments in electric utility rate schedules and tariffs and a request for an accounting order. Duke Energy Carolina seeks an increase in electric rates and charges. The utility's initial application included a request for $231 million rate increase and a return on equity of 10.50. We heard compelling testimony from numerous customers of Duke Energy Carolinas at our public hearings that were held in Spartanburg County, Anderson County, and Greenville County. And, of course, at our merits hearing, the parties, through their attorneys, presented extensive testimony and evidence. That hearing began on Thursday, March 21st, and concluded Wednesday, March 27th. As you recall, the most contentious request proposed by Duke Energy Carolinas was their initial request to increase all customer monthly basic facilities charges. The company initially proposed raising the monthly basic facilities charges for residential non-time of use customers from $8.29 to $28 per month. The company also proposed similar basic facilities charge increases for residential customers and small general service customers. Now, after these public hearings, I think we all could say we certainly heard a public outcry from particularly the elderly and those who were on limited or fixed incomes. And to Duke Energy's credit, they later agreed to lower the basic facilities charge to $11.96 for residential non-TOU customers. They agreed to lower the residential TOU customers to a 13.09 monthly rate, and for SGS customers to 11.70 as a monthly rate. But what concerned the ratepayers who testified and what concerned the commission, frankly, was the fact that the CEO, Lynn Good, and her executive team demonstrated that they really were tone deaf as to how a 238% increase in the South Carolina basic facilities charges would negatively and adversely impact the elderly, the disabled, the low income and low use customers who are being served by the company. This is one of the reasons that I'm recommending a 75% disallowance of the CEO's excessively high executive compensation package of $21.4 million during the test year, which was 2017. That's for the South Carolina portion of her executive compensation package. Also, a 50% disallowance for the next three highest company executives. These high fixed rate charges would have discouraged customer investments in energy efficient appliances, as well as customer incentives to make their homes more energy efficient. High fixed charges would also discourage customers from investing in solar panels. And of course, we heard testimony at our public hearings from those customers who had already purchased solar panels and some who were contemplating purchasing solar panels and how discouraging they were about these high fixed charges. And these charges would have also had the effect of reducing customer control over their electric bills, even if they use less power, which could lead to change behavior where customers were actually increasing their energy consumption. These extreme fixed rate increases violate the statutory standard of just and reasonable rates. ORS has indicated they support the reduced basic facilities charges, and I move that we adopt the reduced rates. Parties presented to the Commission 38 accounting adjustments, 15 of which remain contested. After careful consideration of the entire record, including the voluminous testimony and exhibits presented by the parties, I move that we implement the following. 1, disallow a return on deferred operation and maintenance expenses and approve the ORS proposed amortization periods for accounting deferrals. 2, disallow recovery of $802,033 in operation and maintenance or O&M expenses, including $575,000 in expenses incurred in connection with insurance litigation and $227,033 in non-allowable expenses. 3, we've already covered in previous, but just to recap, disallow the 75% of the South Carolina allocation of Duke Energy CEO Lynn Good's excessive executive compensation for the test year 2017 and 50% of the excessive executive compensation for the company's next 3 highest executives. We should accept the company's adjustment to normalize O&M labor expenses and adjustments for the remaining executive compensation, for the executive compensation. Number 4, disallow recovery of $894,472 on a system-wide basis allocated proportionally to South Carolina associated with the incremental increase in coal ash remediation and disposal costs related to the North Carolina Coal Ash Management Act, also referred to as CAMA. Number 5, disallow any return on pre-construction costs associated with the Council Lee nuclear project. Number 6, disallow recovery for a reserve for end-of-life nuclear fund because it's premature as these costs are unknown and uncertain. Number 7, reject Duke Energy Carolina's proposed amortization periods of 3 years for Carolina's West Control Center, Lee Combined Cycle, and South Carolina Advanced Metering Infrastructure, and adopt ORS's recommended 30-year, 39-year, and 15-year amortization periods, respectively. 8, allow approximately $1,339,000 in rate case expenses amortized over 5 years, which limits the company's recovery of certain rate case expenses to those that were sufficiently supported with documentation, which has resulted in disallowing approximately $512,000, and those expenses that do not contain estimates or forecasts, which disallows approximately $2 million. Further, we exclude from rate base the unamortized balance of rate case expenses. 9, accept the company's calculation of the excess deferred income tax rider and adopt ORS's recommendation to review the changing average rate assumption method rate related to protected EDIT to ensure it is correctly calculated in future periods. 10, adopt the remaining adjustments as recommended by ORS. 11, as to return on equity, the company is by law entitled to a reasonable return on equity on its allowable cost, but it has no right to earn profits comparable to highly profitable enterprises or speculative ventures. Therefore, we've carefully reviewed the testimony and evidence presented as to what should be the appropriate return on equity in this case. Just to summarize briefly, and we'll capture all this in a formal written order to be filed later, but Duke Energy Carolina's main witness, Mr. Hevert, recommended a 10.75 return on equity and had a range of 10.25 to 11.25. But on cross-examination, Mr. Hevert acknowledged that the company is in fact in a less risky position today than it was in 2014 when the Commission granted a 10.2% return on equity. It was also brought out on cross-examination that Mr. Hevert's recommendation has not been adopted by any public service commissions in the numerous cases he testified in. Walmart witness Tillman testified that 9.76% is the national average of approved return on equities in the 111 vertically integrated electric utility rate cases that have been decided over a 3-year period, including from 2016 through 2018. ORS witness Mr. Parcell testified about his methodology, and he employed 3 different methodologies: the DCF, the CAPM, and the comparable earnings methodologies. And he recommended that the appropriate range for return on equity would be 9.1% to 9.5%. After carefully considering all this testimony and evidence, I recommend the Commission adopt 9.5% as the return on equity in this case, which would fall at the top end of the range of Mr. Parcells, who we found was the best of the testimony and evidence based on the methodologies he used and justification for his opinions. So in conclusion, with the capital structure reflecting 47% debt and 53% equity, a 9.5% return on equity results in a revenue increase of approximately $106,931,000, which represents a 54% decrease from the company's original request. I move as a part of our motion that we instruct the company to prepare a proposed tariff conforming to our findings and do so as soon as possible so that they can be incorporated in as exhibit to the formal written order which will be filed, which incorporates more fully our complete findings of fact and conclusions of law in this case. So moved.
You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Williams.
I just want to ask Commissioner Irving a clarifying question regarding item number 4. I want to make sure I understood the recommended disallowance. Are you recommending, Commissioner Irving, that we disallow $469,894,472, essentially all of the incremental CAMA costs?
Yes, sir. On a system-wide basis and proportionally to South Carolina. So, but that's correct.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
We'll state more detailed reasons for that judgment. I think you're all familiar with the testimony and evidence. Time won't permit me to go into a lengthy explanation, but all the appropriate findings of fact and conclusions will all be in the final order.
Thank you, Mr. Irving.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Other questions, commissioners? Comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to address Commissioner Irvin's item 3. I think he moved to disallow 75% of the Duke CEO's compensation during the 2017 test year. And while I think, Commissioner Irvin, you stated the executive compensation in aggregate in total, I would just, if I could, just point out that the allocable portion of the DEC territory, the Duke Energy Carolinas territory, for Ms. Good's salary was $547,000, and per your motion,
That's correct.
Per your motion, it would bring that to $136,750, which is currently less than the portion allocable to her by the DEP territory. So just
Thank you, sir.
to add that into item 3, if I could.
Yet again, we will put all those calculations in a formal written order to be filed. But, you're correct.
And you still have the language in there. Of course, we accept the company's adjustment to normalize O&M labor expense and to adjust O&M for executive compensation. In other words, the commission recognizes the value of line workers and other
Absolutely.
employees, other classified employees.
Right.
And
while
wanted to address
ORS,
that.
yes, sir, and while ORS asks that we cut all employee bonuses, we didn't think that was appropriate. We think that, as you say, the line workers and the other employees are incentivized to work harder, and that helps customers as well as shareholders, and it helps keep down rates. When they are more efficient, they make improvements in the system. It helps customers and shareholders. So we didn't think it was appropriate to cut out the low or the regular employees' benefits or bonuses rather.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions or comments? Okay. If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 12, docket number 2009-411G. Piedmont Natural Gas Company is requesting to extend its energy efficiency programs.
Commissioner Belzer.
I move that the company's petition for an extension of its 3-year existing energy efficiency programs for an additional 3 years to cover the period through March 31, 2022 be approved. The Office of Regulatory Staff has reviewed and does not oppose the request.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Belzer's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 13, docket number 2008-140A. Kiowa Island Utility is requesting an extension of time to file its 2018 annual reports.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
thank you. I move we grant the request for an extension of time until June the 1st, 2019 to file its 2018 annual report. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
That concludes our utility agenda. Turning to our transportation agenda, items number 1 through 8 are new applications that can be taken together. Item number 1, docket number 2019-134T, Carolina Care Greenville, LLC. Item 2, docket 2019-135T, Siental Care Greenville, LLC. Item 3, docket number 2019-136T, Calvin Simmons, DBA ReadyCab. Item 4, docket number 2019-138T, Platinum Executive Transportation, LLC. Item 5, docket number 2019-62T, True Move, LLC, DBA College Hunks Hauling Junk and Moving. Item 6, docket number 2019-141T, SC Transportation, LLC. And item 7, docket number 2019-140T, SpeedyTaxiCab.com, LLC. Item number 8, docket number 2019-142T, AJS Transportation Services, LLC.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the applications identified by Mr. Menges in items 1 through 8. So move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Hamilton's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 9, docket number 2008-140A, is a request for an extension of time.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
I move that we grant the request of Forest Hills Transfer and Storage Incorporated for an extension of time until May 31st, 2019 to file its 2018 annual report. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 10, docket number 2018-398T, is a request for an extension of time.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Whitfield.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant the request of James Woodhouse, doing business as JMC Transportation, for an extension of time until May 23rd, 2019, to comply with Commission rules and regulations. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Whitfield's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 11, docket number 2018-378T, is a request for an extension of time.
Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
I move we grant the request of Transporter SCNC LLC for a 60-day extension in time till July the 1st, 2019 to comply with Commissioner's rules and regulations. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And the motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 12, docket number 2008-140A, is a request for an extension of time.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Williams.
I move that we grant the request of Minuteman Movers, LLC, for an extension of time until June 1st, 2019 to file their 2018 annual report. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Williams' motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 13, docket number 2019-39T, is a request for an extension of time.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belzer.
I move that we grant the request of Crystal Brayboy, doing business as C&A Transportation, for an extension of time until November 1st, 2019 to comply with the Commission's rules and regulations. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Belzer's motion. Are there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 14, docket number 2019-77T, is a request to amend.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Howard.
I move we grant the request of Lauren Creech, DBA Ready Ride Transportation, to amend their application for a Class C non-emergency certificate to read 15 passengers. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Howard's motion. Are there questions or comments? Not all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 15, docket number 2008-191T, is a request for a name change.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Urban.
I move that we grant the request of Todd A. Comstock to amend Class C Charter Certificate Number 7998-A to read, quote, Todd Comstock doing business as TC Transportation Services. So moved.
Thank you. You've heard Commissioner Urban's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion carries.
Item number 16, docket numbers 2004-132T, 2019-91T, 2019-96T, is a request to cancel.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Belzer.
I move that the Commission grant the request of Khalifa G. Adrisi, doing business as Carolina Cab, to cancel Class C taxi certificate number 7460A.
Okay, you've heard Commissioner Belser's motion. Are there questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. The motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes today's agenda.
Thank you. We just want to remind everyone we have a transportation hearing following this hearing, so we will take a brief break and regroup to start this transportation hearing. And we are adjourned.